Oh, that just kept us to the... How we say it? Is that right? You've got one more job? That'll be 2 seconds. No else. I don't know. The next one, the next May, currently help decision whether it will be back there or camp.
That bar what it's built. That bar.
Yeah, a bit further along, yeah.
To make his way onto the course here, Wesley Goodwin. So first of all then down to our wall, get as close as he can to the wall without knocking it over. As I said earlier, all of the vehicles will have a marshal on board to make sure that they're not making use of any inappropriate technical expertise from things like reversing cameras. They are only allowed to use their mirrors on the vehicles, or if they are vehicles with the modern day electronic monitors instead of mirrors, they can use those, but not any reversing or proximity devices. So Wesley now reversing round into the garage, and he must do so now knocking over the rear barrier or touching the side barriers as he comes into the garage here. Judges will wait until he puts his handbrake on, then go to measure the distance from the rear of the barrier to the rear of the vehicle. And it does actually help if the contestant waits long enough to have the distance measured. Wesley obviously in a hurry today, quite clearly. Oh well, while he tries to organise himself for the reverse parallel park manoeuvre, I wonder what we're going to do about that one. That's an interesting one. The marshal's having a discussion about what they're going to do there. Yes, there's a stewards inquiry going on at the moment here. Right, let's hope he stops long enough to be measured on the parallel parking manoeuvre now. Obviously punctuality is an important part of the Goodwin's operation. They don't hang around, quite clearly. We give our contestants, ideally, they should complete this course within 6 minutes, is what we're looking for. Which doesn't sound like long, but actually it's a reasonably good period of time to get through all of the challenges today. So this time he's been measured, I'm pleased to say. Now he goes to the tyre pad, that's our yellow pad on the floor there, and he has to get his rear near side wheel on the pad. Handbrake on, and the marshal gives it the thumbs up, and away he goes. A nice wide angle now to come round into the forward bay. This time it's the front end of his coach that he needs to squeeze in. Let's hope Wesley stays long enough to be measured on this one. Handbrake on, and now we'll measure him this time. He's staying long enough this time, I'm pleased to say. that's that bit sorted anyway, and off he goes now, reversing out to head towards our bridge obstacle. Take his vehicle through the bridge obstacle. It's not just the width, it's the length as well. He needs to get himself nicely positioned in order to get through the two bridge buttons there. There he goes. And then finally off to the far end where he needs to position his vehicle at our pretend fuel pump down there in order to make sure that he can draw fuel from the appropriate place on the vehicle. Some vehicles have offside, some vehicles have near-side filler points, some vehicles have dual tanks so that they can be filled from either side. One way or the other, it needs to be somewhere where the draw fuel happening. He seems to roll off up the ramp there, so that's our first contestant out of the way. So the next contestant then is Robert Weston from FR Willits from the Forest of Dean, the silver grey Mercedes Turismo you can see in front of you now. And he's number 6 in the entries today. So driven today by Rob Weston, 40-year-old driver who was certainly enjoying himself on the dance floor last night at the event for our teams here. Yes, he's hanging his head in shame, I see. Willits from Colway, near Colford in the heart of the Forest of Dean. 53-seat charter vehicle here. Very popular type of coach. Many operators swear by Mercedes Turismos. I think probably the second most popular vehicle here in the rally today. The Tempters seem to have grabbed the majority of places, but certainly Mercedes Turismo is the close second, I think. And so off goes Rob. Round onto the wall to start with. Drawing up as close as he can to our barriers there, simulating the wall there. If the drivers do knock down any of our barriers, then they will suffer penalties, quite severe penalties, so the trick is not to knock our barriers down as they go around. Good, so he's now reversing round to get himself positioned, nice and parallel with our little garage, or simulated garage here. Let's hope that Rob's got long enough to be measured as he comes to the rear of our garage. And there we go. I think he's done that quite nicely. Marshall's happy with him. He's on his way now round to the north end of the site to the parallel parking manoeuvre. The idea being that we're simulating a pickup point perhaps at a hotel or at a place of interest on a tour where he's got to reverse in and get as close to the curb as he can and reverse as close to the rear end of our little bay there as he can. And he needs to come round that front barrier there to go into the parallel parking manoeuvre. To stimulate the coach getting as close to the curb to allow its passengers to get on and off comfortably without having to step too far from the front doorway on the coach onto the curb there. And of course loading luggage as well. or unloading luggage for that matter. So when he goes, using both mirrors, looking carefully at both sides, because he's got the cones on the offside as well as the barriers on the near side, of course. We like to see the drivers undertake this as one continuous manoeuvre without stopping. And he's doing a pretty good job at the moment, I think. So there we go. He seems to know his 12.8 metres pretty well there. So Marshall gives him the thumbs up and out of the bay he comes now, across to our yellow tyre pad. We get his rear near side wheel on the tyre pad, stop it as close as he can to the tyre pad. Again, watching his near side mirrors very carefully now to see he's got the safety where it should be. And the marshal's happy with that, so away he goes. A nice left wide swing to turn around and get himself parallel into our coach bay. Well, Rob is really trying to keep things down as low as possible there. He's pretty close and probably scored very well on that one, so that's good news. Out he comes. And will then swing himself round to get himself parallel with our bridge office. Squeeze through there. And he goes through with ease there, down towards the end to our fuel filler bay.